What's going on, everybody? Okay, I hate starting streams this way. I absolutely hate this, but can you hear me? Because I'm having issues. I feel like the tech gremlins, they show up sometimes, but I actually feel like they have moved in. They have moved in and they will not leave. They have moved in. They have unpacked their bags. They have claimed their room. They've claimed their bed. They're here. They have been here for like 2 weeks and I'm over it. I think I've identified a couple of the issues. I know. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know you can hear me, but I literally can't hear anything. I couldn't hear the music. I couldn't hear the countdown timer. I checked all my settings. Like, we got some audio routing issues for sure. So, okay, we're here. We're ready to do this. We are ready to rock and roll. Are you ready to rock and roll? Super excited to see everyone today. I love seeing so many, I say this all the time, but I love seeing so many of my return audience members. It's great to see those of you that keep coming back and back again to the Ask StreamYard show, which is what this is. So this is the Ask StreamYard show. I am your host, Melanie Diane Howe, and I host the show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, unless the tech gremlins make me reschedule it like they did a couple weeks ago. But you're all here, and we're here to hang out, and we're here to have a lot of fun. And what we do is in this show, we actually take a question, we take a deep dive, and we go all in, right? And so today we're going to be talking about a question that comes up all the time. And quite frankly, I'm actually surprised that here we are in episode like 41 of this show, and we haven't covered this yet. And the question is how long should your live videos be? I've been live streaming for years. I've been helping people and coaching people with their live video strategies, with their social media strategies, content strategies, and I'm really all in with live video when it comes to that. But ever since I started teaching it and working with small businesses and entrepreneurs, this question comes up in almost every workshop I do, every Q&A I do when we talk about videos. And so this is a really, 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 really great question. And so we are going to be diving into this, and we're going to be talking about it. So I see that Tara with Ruby is cooking dinner right now. That's awesome. So I saw somebody earlier, they are watching from Indiana, which is exactly where I am. I am in Indiana, and we're about to get hit with some snow, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually pretty excited. It's raining cats and dogs out there right now, but we are going to be getting a lot of snow, and I'm actually pretty excited. So pretty pumped about it. We got a lot of weather going on all over the place, so everybody stay safe out there for sure. So, okay, look at this. Stream Chats Jen says, I rarely manage to stream less than 4 hours. Love it. Mike says 1 hour for him. Mike's auto detailing. I saw the Curse of Oak Island, QOOI, excuse me. 60 minutes is great. Yeah. Here's the thing that's crazy is you're literally going to get the answer is going to be all over the place on this one. And we're going to talk about why, and we're going to talk about my opinion on this. We're going to jump in for it for sure. Oh, good. Unseen Universe says, digging the streams happening at the UK friendly time. Woohoo. Okay, good. Awesome. It's evening over there, right? So I don't even know what time it is. But yeah, so we got Australia in the house. That's fantastic. Jada LaRue, or is it Jada LaRue? I don't even know how I would know that. How can you tell me that? But I try to not go over an hour. Yeah, I saw SmackDown outdoors. So I saw, he says 2 hours for me, but I'm recording a podcast. There's another scenario. You're getting ahead of me there, Mr. Doug. You're getting ahead of me there. This is good. So here's the way this is going to work. We're going to break this down. And if you do have questions, which I love, I see Let's Go Sew with Joanne Banco. She's got a question. I've gone ahead and put that question in the queue. Now, here's what we got to do. We got to get this out of the way. It's really important. And really what it comes down to is if you have a feature request, don't put a queue in front of that. Don't provide. This isn't a show where I'm taking your feedback and taking it to Dan Engage. If you have feedback for Dan Engage and our development team, then you need to go over to our contact page. Go over there to StreamYard.com/contact. That is where your feedback needs to go. That's where your feature requests need to go, not in the comments of the stream. If you have a question about today's topic, which is the ideal length of a live video, definitely put a Q in front of your question. I would love to answer it and love to talk with you about that. If you're having trouble with your StreamYard account, if you're having issues with anything, email support at StreamYard.com or go to our website, click on the knowledge base. There's a help tab there. You might actually find what you need by searching there as well. So this isn't it's not that I don't want to help you. It's just that we do have a time limit today for today's stream, and we are going to stay on topic because that's what's important. That's actually a critical thing when you're creating videos is what is your topic, what's your objective, what is your show premise, and stay on topic, which does contribute to your length of your show as well. So we are definitely going to be diving into all of these things for sure. Now, what I also want to say that if you want to be featured in a future episode, all you have to do is use the hashtag Ask StreamYard, and we will look for your questions. If we like the question and we can take a deep dive with it, we might feature your question, and we'll even send you a wonderful StreamYard t-shirt, and we will talk about your question on the show and answer it, which, by the way, is what we're doing today. And who submitted this question? Well, our friend over in our Facebook community, Tracy Wilson, is the one who submitted the question. She said, is there a sweet spot for engagement, views when it comes to streaming, both on Facebook and YouTube? So again, I actually am shocked that we are 41 episodes in and we are just now talking about this because this is a popular topic for sure. A lot of people say this. So a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. And here's what it's going to, we got all kinds of people chiming in. This is actually pretty cool. Cornelius says 60 minutes for my show and about 15 for my daily motivation show. Love that. Okay. Love it. Okay. So here's what's crazy. Tristan's chiming in, depends on the usage. We used to do an 8-minute knowledge sharing and got great results, but also our dinner and digital marketing stream too. Yeah, exactly. So a nice little blend of both for sure. Chris Gosling says, I make local news. So a few minutes is great for that. Then summaries and chats take longer. Yep. The J vlog, my perfect is 45 minutes to an hour, but usually goes overtime. Yeah, I know how that works, right? Okay, so this is good. This is good. You guys all are chiming in, and it's actually pretty cool. So Video for Bosses, good to see you back. When I was doing my 100-day challenge, I think she went live every day for 100 days. I kept my lives to approximately 20 minutes. This is because 1, I was live streaming daily, and 2, I wanted to attract the replay viewers. That's actually a really great comment that we're going to be coming back to for sure. So, okay. So here's the deal. If you have, I'm just making sure I don't have any more questions to grab to throw in my queue, which is all good. Okay, cool. So this is good. So here's what it boils down to. So a lot of marketing strategy oriented questions, regardless of whether it's live video or anything else, is almost always going to have the response that is prefaced with, it depends. And this is another one of those scenarios. However, there are some ideal situations, right? And so I can help you understand where you can make those decisions about the length of your show. And then also some kind of do's and don'ts, right? That's kind of what we're going to come down to today. So here's the deal. When it comes to live streaming, there's a few things that you need to understand. The first thing you need to understand is that your live viewers are not going to, many of the times, your live viewers are not going to be there the moment you click go live. So if we think about what happens in these scenarios, now I will say this. If you're a consistent live streamer and you go live on the regular, like this show, we are 41 weeks into this show. Every Wednesday, we've been doing the show. And many of you come back every week. You see the post. You see that there's another Ask StreamYard show. You're like, ooh, another Ask StreamYard show. Because you've watched before, because you know it's every week, because you know what you can count on, because you know what to expect, because I engage with you, you're likely to say, I want to jump in. Some of you, which I want to know in the comments, if any of you have this actually booked on your calendar. Do you have it in your calendar, like the Ask StreamYard show? Tune into the Ask StreamYard show. Any of you have that? I would love to know in the comments if you have it in your calendar, because if you're a consistent live streamer, your audience, if they're used to seeing you, they may actually block the time in their calendar. And then the other thing is that when you use a tool like StreamYard and you pre-schedule your broadcast, they can click on, whether they're on Facebook, or whether they're on YouTube or wherever, they can click like get notified or whatever, so that when the moment you do click go live, they're going to get a notification. So those scenarios, we're starting to see more people show up live at the beginning of your live broadcast because of those tools. Pre-scheduling your show so that people can click on those notifications and the get notified thing. But also strategy, consistency. If you're a consistent streamer, if you have a show that is basically, as I say, a show, Not just, oh, Mel's live today. Oh, StreamYard's live again. Wonder what they're talking about. No, it's a consistent show. Just like our town hall every single Sunday night at 9:00 Eastern, where Dan and Gage come on and they go on for 30 minutes. They've been doing that for well over a year. It's a show because it's consistent. The show format is consistent. You know what to expect. In those scenarios, it's very likely that people are going to be there in the beginning of your live broadcast. But just as of right now, when I clicked go live, even in the first 2 minutes, we have already doubled the live viewers. I can see the number of people tuning in live right now. We have doubled the amount of people watching live. And we are streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. We're over on LinkedIn. We're even on Twitter. And I can see the viewers, the number from StreamYard or from Facebook and YouTube. And literally, we have doubled the amount of viewers since the first 2 minutes of this show. And we are, 15 minutes in already. 15, is that right? We are 15 minutes. What have I been talking about for 15 minutes? Good Lordy. Okay, sorry. So, anyways, okay, we got this, right? We send an email blast and have a public calendar. So that's another thing. How are you telling your audience? Video for Bosses says, it's already ingrained in my brain. That's because of the value of the community here. Exactly. She's finding value, so she wants to be here. Let's go. So Joanne Benko says, it's not on my calendar, but it's a good idea. Some of you are just kind of trained. You just kind of know Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. There he is. Rachel has it on the calendar, right? So there you go. So many of you have it on the calendar. Some of you just sort of know, right? You just have it there. You just know Wednesday at 11. So anyway, my point is that if you're not in that state yet, if you're a new streamer, if you are building your audience, if you don't have a show, right, then you're not going to have a lot of people live with you in the beginning of that live broadcast. So some of those shorter lengths of time are okay as long as you know that you're creating a show for the replay. So somebody said it earlier, it was Video for Bosses. She was talking about she kept them short because, but here's the deal. She went into those videos knowing she wasn't going to have a lot of live viewers. She went into it knowing, like, open the show up, get to the point, deliver the content. There's nobody to engage with, so I'm going to get it done. When the content's done, it's done. The live show should end at that point. She's creating a live broadcast. She's using a live tool. She's going live. Some people are tuning in live with her, but the majority of her strategy is for the replay. In those situations, you need to get to the point, get it done, and get out. Because here's the thing. When people are searching and researching and looking for things, they are going to want to find information that is vetted. Okay, there's a lot of views here. There's a lot of likes on this. This person must know what they're talking about. I'm going ahead of myself. Second, how long is the video? Because when we do a search, especially on Google, and we look how to do something, we're going to get 3 videos delivered to us many times. And you're going to see 3 options. People look at how long ago was the video created, especially if it's anything marketing, technology, anything like that. They're going to want to see how recent is the video. If it's 2 years old and I'm asking about something for Windows 10, that might be an answer, but a lot of things could have changed since then. So they're going to probably look for a more recent video. The other thing they're going to look for is, again, they're going to vet it out with the number of likes and all that stuff. And 3, which one's the shortest? Am I going to watch the 40-minute video or am I going to watch the 7-minute video? You're going to pick the 7-minute video, most likely, in almost every case. If people are looking for information and they want it quick and they want it now, they need it to be short and you need to be getting to the point. So think about that. If you're creating a live broadcast and your number one objective is the replays, people watching the replay, I want to teach people how to do something. I just prefer to go live when I do it instead of pre-recording and editing and doing all that hootenanny to get the video up on my YouTube channel or wherever. I just want to go live and do it. I also want to entertain some people live. Like the whole Video for Bosses strategy, she did this 100 days of live. Well, there was a strategy there, right? Probably to grow her audience, probably to get herself into a routine. I've done a live blitz, that's called a blitz. I've done that before and it was very valuable. It took energy. And so that's another thing. She's like, do I really have time to go live for 90 minutes every day for 100 days? Probably not. Some people do. That's great. Again, it comes back to what is your objective? Now, bear with me, hang in here with me, because I know we're going all over, we're going to be going in through this, and I want you to be posting your questions with a cue for me so that we can absolutely jump in and I can answer questions. I'm going to do my best to see your comments, but I also want to make sure that I am like focused on you delivering great value here. It's definitely one of the challenges when you're live streaming, you have a really awesome audience like you, which I love, but it's like, whoo, I don't want to ignore anyone. So I'm not ignoring you. I see you. I'll see Jordan. I see V World. I see the J Vlog again. I see El Show de Fravia Maravilla. I see Cherie Renee Johnson. I see Albitastic. I see all of you. Okay, Jada LaRue, again. I see Hannity, Bailey. I see all of you. My Mr. TMI Tate. Okay. Sometimes Jim Guild. I mean, I love it. Okay, I see you all. We're going to keep going, right? So here's the thing. I just described to you a scenario where you're thinking about the replay. Now, we're going to get to that because the next question somebody's going to say is, well, wait a minute. Maybe we should just be creating short videos and blah, blah, blah and putting them on YouTube. Why should we even be live streaming? We're going to get to that. Because that always comes up. This is a deep one. This is a tough one to cover because there's so many things. There's so many things that come into it. All right. So here is the other scenario. Live streaming is about engaging. It's about talking to your community. It's about getting to know your community. It's about building a relationship. Like, for example, so we have Smackdown Outdoors here. His name is Doug. I know that his name is Doug. Video for Bosses. I know you've told me your name before and I need to write it down. But like getting to know your audience, the people that come back, keep coming back. You get to know what their businesses are, what their needs are, the questions they ask. You get to know them. You build a community in live streaming. That is very difficult to do if you're only creating pre-recorded upload videos. You are creating, it's like I call it the snail mail version versus a conversation in a coffee shop, right? So when you upload videos that are 8 minutes long, they're short and punchy, and you get thousands of views, and they're so helpful for people. But they comment, and then you get their comment. They might comment at 3:00 in the morning, and then you might not get to it till the next day. You might not get to it till for a couple days. I don't know if you ever even respond to it. You're not having a conversation. You're just sending a letter in the mail, and then you're opening it, and then you're writing another letter back, and you're sending it in the mail, and then they open it, right? And they may not even open it. It may go on a pile with an intention of, I'll go back to that later, like all the notifications we get. How many notifications do you get? Do you literally read absolutely every single comment, everything in your notification feed? Do you? I don't. I can't. I literally can't. I lose them. Right? So that mail might not even be seen by them. But if we're talking right now, right, and we're hanging out, then I can talk to you right now, right? I can see you. I can see the things you're saying. Kamal Tech Vlog says, no one watches a full replay, so longer video stream gave me a good retention time. Here's the deal. Again, it's going to come back to truly, what is your objective? Live streaming. I personally believe that there are a dozen like mainstream YouTube strategies, a dozen. And in my opinion, I really think that you can do any of them and be successful. The YouTube strategy that I personally like, or the live streaming strategy, the video strategy, the content strategy, doesn't matter, is a blend of both. So we're talking about, okay, I'm going to create these types of videos. I'm going for the replay. But then you also, as you grow that audience, I want to see you live streaming and creating a community type of live stream where you're just hanging out talking. You're not focused on, I want to make sure that, the beginning is this way and then I have a beginning so I can trim it out. Just focus on your people, right? Those live streams can be longer. They tend to be longer. And quite frankly, if you've got people engaging with you and you're hanging out and you're talking and there's still value being delivered and you're still getting stuff from them, then longer is fine. Longer streams are great. Someone in here said earlier, they literally don't go less than 4 hours, right? And so it's one of those things, right? So let's go. So Joanne Benko says, live is so much fun, like having a party without serving snacks and cleaning up afterwards. That's a really hilarious scenario. I love that analogy. It's actually kind of true. So, it is. It's like a party. It's hanging out in a room with people versus you sending letters out. That's what I always say. It's not that the letters aren't valuable. It's just different. And that's the whole point here. So do I believe that live video is still very valuable, even though the replays might be a little bit more challenging for you? Yes. Okay. So again, it goes back to what is your objective? What are you trying to accomplish? So if you're just now joining us, we are going to be talking about a very difficult one to cover, which is actually, we're talking about the ideal live stream length. I thought I had a banner for that. Do I not have a banner for that? I do have a banner for that. There's our ticker talking about the ideal length for your live videos. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because we had a question submitted in our Facebook community by Tracy Wilson, and she wanted to know what's the sweet spot for engagement and views, which is what we're going to talk about next, right? And so the first thing I was talking about was you have to understand a few things. You have to understand the way live videos work. And as I mentioned, for most live videos, you're not going to have a lot of people live with you in the very beginning. So if you go live, if you're like, okay, I'm going to share my 3 favorite pieces of tech that I've bought this year. Random idea. Sorry. Just random idea. Because I did just buy a new piece of tech yesterday. I bought one of these things so that I can hook it into my Blackmagic. We'll talk about that another time. What are my 3 favorite pieces of tech? Great. You go live. You might even have a 30-second countdown. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Okay. Hey, everybody, I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite pieces of live tech. Let me know if you're here in the comments. I want to know who's here live. Okay, great. I see that Vanessa's here. Great. I see that so-and-so's here. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Boom, boom, boom. Guess what? You're done with the first one. Then you're going to talk about your new Shure headphones. And then you're going to talk about your favorite microphone. There might be some people that heard about piece number 1, but then literally about halfway, when you're done with that one, all of a sudden new people are joining and they have no idea what you just talked about. And then the next people come and then the next people come. Then here's the other thing that happens. Some people start on your stream, they hang out with you, you start talking about something, and then they're out, they bounce. Your audience is coming and going. You will have people that will stay the whole time, and then you will have people that will come and go. And some of those people might come, go, and come back, right? It just depends. Think about your own behaviors when you watch people. Your audience is going to be doing the same thing. Sometimes you watch an entire show. Depends on the host, depends on the topic, depends on what you're doing, right? Are you in the car and you're just listening? Are you cooking like somebody was earlier and you're multitasking and we're hanging out in the kitchen with you, right? I mean, people are going to come and go. So the ideal length, right, is if there are people, if you're done with your content, this is the biggest thing that everybody needs to hear me say. If you're going to share your 3 favorite pieces of tech, right? It's just an example. And that's your planned content. And you go live and you deliver it and you're 20 minutes in and you're done with those 3 pieces of your favorite tech. Nobody's commenting. Nobody's asking you any questions. And you're like, well, dang it. Longer streams perform better. And it takes like 20 minutes for the audience to build up. I should probably keep going. No, you shouldn't. So this is important, especially for new streamers, because a lot of times you aren't going to have very many people live with you and you're going to deliver your content and you're going to be done. And then if you just keep going, then you're just going on and rambling, right? And at that point, you're not delivering value anymore. So here's what I say. If your planned value is done and your audience is also done with you, which is fine, and you're only 20 minutes in, but yet you read some blog article or you saw some YouTuber tell you that your ideal length should be 60 minutes, and you're like, I'm only 20 minutes in, dang it, what am I going to talk about for the next 40 minutes? No, you're going to go ahead and say, all right, well, that's what I had planned for y'all today. Hopefully, if you caught the replay, let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and then just say something and then just sign off and be done. Right? Because just like, Video for Bosses said, the replays, those shorter videos are going to be fine. Your replays are going to do great. So what's the other scenario? You say, all right, I'm going to go live for 90 minutes. So I'm going to plan all this content. If you're there and you're delivering all this content and you still don't have live viewers, you're not engaging with anyone, think about, again, who are you entertaining? Who are you entertaining in that moment? Yourself? The algorithms? Don't worry about the algorithms. Don't worry about the algorithms. The algorithms are going to do their job regardless of you trying to beat the system. Okay? Don't create content for the algorithms. The algorithms are going to serve you and your viewers by finding and matching. The algorithms are like matchmakers, right? They're matchmaking the ideal content to the ideal audience and making magic happen, right? That's all that's happening. So what you need to focus on is your content, think about your ideal audience, and create content. As you build your audience, as your audience starts to get acquainted with you, accustomed to you, maybe you create a show and you're like, all right, I'm going to reserve 30 minutes because that's usually how long I go live because I don't have very many people. And that's what Mel told me. She said, if I'm done with my point and there's nobody there, good. So I'm going to now create a show. I'm going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to put it in my calendar, 30 minutes every week, blah, blah, blah. Great. But I want you to understand something. Your 30 minutes might grow. Okay. So it might start out as 30 minutes, but then eventually you might be like, oh my gosh, at 30 minutes, I still have like 10 questions I didn't answer and I wasn't able to help people. And now what? Well, my friend, it's time to go longer. It's time for you to extend your live streams, right? Again, it comes back to a few major things. What is the objective of your content? Are you coming into this and saying, I want to teach people how to do something. I want to share 3 pieces of technology with them. I'm going to put affiliate links in the description. I want people to learn and I want it to happen. Boom. Short stream. Get to the point. Get out, right? But live streaming, I want you to know this. You need to also make sure you're taking care of your audience. There is a strategy here. If you have that kind of strategy and you want to keep it punchy and to the point, then what I want you to consider is I'm going to get to the point, and then if there's questions when I'm done, I'm going to answer those questions, but then I'm going to trim that out. Okay, so here is the bottom line. The bottom line is this. Your content needs to be as long, your live stream, your live video needs to be as long as it needs to be. It's that simple. I say it's that simple, but it's not easy to figure out, right? But it is that simple. The answer to this question, which is how long should your live streams be, right? That's what we're talking about today, is it needs to be as long as it needs to be. It needs to be as short as it only needs to be. If you need 4 hours to go through all this stuff to entertain your audience, to do the Q&A, to build the community, then it needs to be 4 hours. The Pat Mcafee Show. Do any of you watch the Pat Mcafee Show? It's popular here in the United States. Ex-NFL football player, a comedian. He is like live for hours, but it's literally like watching like CNN. I mean, it's like he goes through, they have an agenda, they have content. They are like live, they have interviews. It's like its own big old broadcast. Some of you may have those types of streams. So the reason I'm saying this is because somebody's stream that's like 4 hours or 8 hours or 6 hours, I would say that most of those times, there's a reason it's that long. And guess what? Their audience is already accustomed to that. And so that's something to think about. The reason I'm saying this is because I don't want you to see in the comments, oh my gosh, all these people are streaming for 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 4 hours, 2 hours. Video for Bosses went live 100 days in a row. What am I doing wrong? I'm only going live for 30 minutes. You're not doing anything wrong. But think about the things I told you. Are you leaving your audience hanging? If you are, then you might want to consider going live longer. Or maybe your content strategy is different. I will tell you what the Pat Mcafee Show does. What they do is they go on these really long streams and then they literally cut out. They will pull out clips. And then they go take those clips and they upload videos. So they upload segments of the full stream. So they do a big, long live stream. And as I said, there might be 6 major segments in that live stream. I'm making this up. I literally have never watched an entire Pat Mcafee show, but I literally know that I will log on in the morning and he'll be live and then I'll be on later and he's still live. And then I'll get on again. I'm like, oh my gosh, they are still live. So I know what and then I see what they do on their channel. So let's say they're live 6 hours. Every hour has its own segment, right? They're taking each one of those segments, clipping it out, trimming it, and creating separate videos, and they're putting them up. They're uploading them as pre-recorded videos, not live streams. So they're streaming the content, but then they're taking that content and creating other content with it. That's a great strategy. It's very effective, very popular, and it does work. But the reason I'm saying this, and I'm explaining this the way I'm explaining it, is because your strategy is your strategy. Video for Bosses went live 100 days in a row. Does that mean you should do that? Not necessarily, right? She had a reason for it. She had a goal. It was a project. It was a thing. Maybe it was a challenge. Maybe she was enrolled in a program and they said, hey, that's what you're going to do. Doesn't matter. Your strategy is your strategy. But what I want to say is that if you're finding that you want to create these shorter streams so that the replays are effective, people can find your video, they see that it's a good to the point video and they want to watch it, the replay, great. But also consider another type of live stream that you can add to your mix that is very much like this one. It's very much my show on my channel. Over at Melanie Diane, every week I go live. Sometimes I have a topic, sometimes I don't. But it's essentially a marketing chit chat and live Q&A. People come, sometimes we literally hang out. We don't even always talk about anything like overly. There have been times where literally we're all just talking. We're all just chatting, hanging out. Other times it's loaded with questions. Sometimes I give them a topic and I say, ask me about XYZ. But again, it's just a weekly chit chat. It's a community stream. It's me going in to the coffee shop or the bar. As you know, I like coffee, but I like bars too. Walking into the bar and saying, let's all have a drink. Let's all hang out. What's going on with you? Let's talk. All right, cool. All right, everybody, what do you want to ask me? I'm here for the next hour and a half. Talk to me. What's going on in your world? How can I help? That's what that stream is like. That stream has helped me grow my channel, learn about my audience, get to know my people. So if you're creating these short streams because of that algorithm thing or the whole replay thing, great. But I want you to consider another type of stream that's probably going to be longer. Now, let's think about this. You're like, okay, Mel said she does hers for 90 minutes, hour long, all these things. Well, I should do that too. If you go live and you're doing a Q&A or whatever, and you're like, well, normally these are 90 minutes, whatever. And after 40 minutes, the conversation is stale. You don't really have anything else to share. Nobody's really commenting anymore. Then guess what? It's time to end the stream. So it goes back to, you might have a plan. You might have a thought. You might say, all right, I think I'm going to be able to get through this content in 30 minutes. So I'm going to plan 30 minutes to deliver content. I'm going to have about 10 minutes inside of all that of engagement. And then I'll do 10 minutes of Q&A. I'm going to be about an hour. I'm just going to kind of roughly say this is going to be an hour-long live stream. Don't get married to that. My point is that if you're like in there and people are like just all over the comments, they are asking questions and you're like, wow, I'm getting great engagement, tons of questions. If you can go longer, keep going. Don't leave your audience hanging. And then on the flip side, if you're like, hardly anybody's here, nobody's really engaging, I'm getting through this a lot faster, don't drag it out. Do not drag your live stream out just because you're trying to hit some target timeline. That's really the most important thing I want everyone to walk away with today. 100%. I want everyone to walk away with that today. If you have a plan and you think it's going to be 60 minutes and in 40 minutes you're done and it's stale, well, your live stream is not 60 minutes. Your live stream is 41 minutes. Okay? And then the other way around. The live video needs to be as long as the live video needs to be. Okay, let me take some questions. I want to take a sip of water. You guys are so awesome today. Like, this is fantastic. I'm getting passionate. I'm getting hot, actually, because I'm just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those topics that I could geek out on all day, and it's so situational. Like, it makes me wish that we really could be all hanging out in the bar, and I would order a cocktail, vodka and grapefruit juice with a leaf of basil, in case you wondered. I would get that and I would sit down and I would say, okay, let's talk about this. I would share my thoughts, but then I would literally want to know like, okay, well, let's talk about you. Let's talk about you, Janet. Let's talk about you, Juan. Andrew Kavanaugh, let's talk about you. What are you trying to do? What are you planning to do, right? He says, I am planning on creating a weekly show, right? So then I would come back and say, okay, cool. Here's the way it's probably going to start. It's probably going to start out this way. So let's have this kind of plan. And then it might mold into this. And if that's the case, then you're going to need to shift, right? And then so your streams might start out one way and then they might change. Those are the conversations I like to have. But again, truly, when it comes to this topic, it's difficult for me to just come out and tell you what to do because it is very situational. As I said, it depends. Right? It depends. And so exactly as Doug says here, as short as possible, but as long as necessary. Love that. Put that one right there. Everybody right there. As short as possible, but as long as necessary. That is a great way to say it. Absolutely. Okay. If you have a question, do me a favor. Put a Q in front of it, right? Put a Q in front of it. A Q in front of it. so that I can see it in all of the wonderful comments that we have here. I've got lots of great comments. I saw, there we go. So Video for Boston, she said, absolutely not. I had a specific goal and objective and it was strategic. Exactly. So she didn't just do this whole 100-day thing. She literally was like, no, I'm doing this. I have a reason for it, specific goals and an objective, very strategic aspect to it. I love that. So again, the strategy plays a part in this stuff for sure. 100%. 100 days. Super awesome. Okay. Excuse me. I like the idea. So Split Rock 323 says, I like the idea of taking a longer live stream and then editing it into shorter videos in post-production. Yeah. So again, I'm not endorsing the show. I just, it's one example that is like super fresh in my mind. The Pat McAfee Show. That's what they do. He does a lot. It's daily. I mean, it's a show. It's like, he literally has a studio. He has a studio with like people and like, he's not producing his stuff. It's like a show you would see on ESPN. That's like a talk show, but they're doing their own thing. They're live streaming it, and that's what's happening. It's a podcast. It's a stream, and then they take that stuff and they repurpose the content. It's really fantastic. It's a fantastic production. It's really pretty cool. The content you may support, you may not like, it doesn't matter, but it's one of those things. Okay. Just a quick check-in because I saw a lot of comments coming in that I wasn't able to like. I'm trying to focus on you and trying to make sure I share this to you, right? But also I probably missed some comments and maybe even some questions. I'm solo today. We have well over 100 people hanging out with us and lots of really great engagement. So Gary Link says, the important question is are you serving value? Yes. So reiterating what I was saying to you earlier, 100%. This is an interesting comment. So Alvin says, the person's personality and voice on screen plays a big part too. There is that. So here's the thing. I kind of have this, I'm one of those people that I just said this on a podcast interview. The podcast isn't coming out till the end of the month, but I just said this. The question was like, who do you put in live streams? Who's a good fit for live video? And I'm that kind of person that, yes, there are certain attributes, traits, techniques, even just down and dirty, born charisma, right? That make a person better on video, better on screen, better in movies, better on the news, better in commercials, better in comedies, better in musicals on stage. Doesn't matter. There are skills and attributes that will make someone very entertaining to a point where they can go live for a long time. I'm the kind of person, though, that truly believes that anyone can show up in video. Anyone can be on stage. Anyone, no matter what. There is an audience for everyone, right? I'm high energy. I'm all over the place. I'm like, somebody even said, I love your energy. Oh, there it is. So Hannity says, I love your energy, so genuine. I'm all over the place. Like, I'm that kind of person. That probably drives some people crazy. They're literally like, oh my gosh, I wish she would get to the point. I wish that she would just boom, 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 boom. But that's not my style. Some of you like this style. You like it, right? Some people don't. This here may not be the right fit for a particular type of show. He is right. The personality, everything plays a part. But with that being said, the last thing I want to hear anyone say is, I'm not the right kind of personality for live video, or I need to create shorter videos. I'm not entertaining enough. I'm not interesting enough, right? I just refused. I think that's a limiting belief. I think it's a limiting belief, and I don't support limiting beliefs. I think anyone can show up. Anyone can deliver what they want to deliver. There are some live streamers out there that I will I'll check out their stream and I'm like, they have 1,000 people watching this live video right now. And I will look at it and I'm like, and they aren't even showing their face on camera. They're not even showing their face on camera. And there are 1,000 people listening to this live video. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I've seen it all. Never say never. There is an audience for everyone, for every type out there. But Alvin's right. That does play a part. But I don't know that I say that it plays. I don't know that I say that that's a factor. Again, it all goes back to, what is the strategy? What is the content? And do you have viewers watching you live with you? Because if you don't have an engaged audience, then you're not going to have a longer stream. If you have an engaged audience, then if you're making a shorter stream because you're trying to keep it short, you're leaving your audience hanging. You need to fill the gap somewhere else, right? And so those are the points I'm making. So, and the question, a big part of this question, which I want to get back to, that Tracy said is, what's the sweet spot for engagement and views, right? The sweet spot. So let's talk about that a little bit, because as I mentioned, you are when you are using StreamYard and you go live regularly. So I'm gonna keep picking on Video for Bosses because I can, I guess. This whole 100-day stream that she did, this whole 100-day thing. I guarantee that she learned so much by doing all of those live streams every day, consistently for 100 days. She was able to see right after about I'm just making stuff up. Right at about 5 minutes, people started hanging out. Like the more you go live, the more insights you're going to learn, the more you're going to learn about your audience. And so be paying attention to all of that stuff, right? Be paying attention, because that insight is going to bring value. It's going to bring information to you. It's data, so that you know what to do. So the sweet spot depends. I wish I could literally say, here is the formula. The algorithms tell us that 19 minutes is the ideal length. And at about 4 minutes, you should provide your call to action. And right at about 14 minutes, you should provide your pitch, whatever. There is no formula. There might be big data out there that can give us averages and tell us things. That doesn't tell you crap about you and your unique situation and your business and your unique objectives and your audience that's unique to you. That doesn't tell you crap. Big data is just big data. It's just a place for you to maybe start. But pay attention to your own custom situation, your own custom audience, your own data in itself. That's where you need to be paying attention, because the big data and all that stuff, the formulas, they're just averages. But they aren't going to cater to you in your unique situation. Averages, best practices, strategies, what the marketing gurus tell you, what Melanie Diane might tell you to do one day in one of these Ask StreamYard shows. All it is, it's just a suggestion. And some of those suggestions are based on averages. Some of those suggestions are based on personal experiences. Some of those suggestions that you read about or hear about are based on certain industries, certain markets, certain things, right? And so be careful when you look for the formula. There's no formula for any of this. There truly is no formula for any of this. There's just a bunch of suggestions. Some of them are better than others. Some of them are more fitting than others, right? But they are a great place to start. But always remember, they're just suggestions, okay? So there is no sweet spot. The sweet spot is you paying attention and you knowing what's going on. There is, however, technique. All right. There is technique when it comes to this stuff. So and we went through that. Hey, go into your live stream with a plan. Make sure you have a content plan. What are you going to be talking about? What's the plan there? Stick to the plan. And then the engagement techniques. If you want engagement, right? Because what one of the scenarios I talked about earlier was you go live for 20 minutes and your content's done because nobody was commenting. Well, did you engage with them? Did you give them prompts? Did you tell them you wanted them to engage? That's technique. So if you want engagement and you want that stuff, then you need to be engaging with them. As I mentioned, coming right out of the gate, meaning click go live and come right in and delivering your content is probably not the best technique. You need to warm up the stream. You need to warm up the audience, give a few more people time to join, let them know what you're going to be talking about so they can make a good decision about whether they want to stay with you or not. And then go into your content, right? And then engage, and then deliver more content, and then engage, and deliver more content, and then engage. That is the formula that I think is a great place to start. So there is technique that is going to generate engagement, and finding the sweet spot is likely going to be based on your content, how you deliver it, the way you deliver it, and what you tell your audience to do. Earlier, when I said, I want to know in the comments, do you have Ask StreamYard bookmarked in your calendar? And all of a sudden, a bunch of people started telling me, no, I don't. Yes, I do. Or I actually do have you. I have it in my Google Calendar. It's automatic, whatever. People start engaging. If I would have just simply said, sorry, I'm pinning a few questions I see. If I would have just said, hey, some of you might even have this in your calendar. How many of you that commented that you did or didn't would have just been like, oh, I do. Or, oh, I never thought of that. Would you have commented? Not necessarily. But because I told you to and I gave you a prompt, then you engaged. So again, that goes back to technique. Technique is a critical piece of getting that engagement, right? Getting that engagement. Speaking of, I need to check on everyone. Robin is here in the house. My energy level is completely opposite from Mel. That's so funny. Yeah, she's a little more chill. She's a little more chill, I'm guessing. A little more calming and soothing, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. There's an audience for Robin. There's an audience that wants that, needs that, right? So it's certainly important. It's one of those things. Okay, I'm scrolling through kind of fast, right? So just give a few shout outs. I see Annette is here from Purple Paisley Planner. We got Jack Tyler here. He says, in my opinion, the length of a live stream should be judged on the topic of the stream. Precisely. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about that ideal length, right? And I shared a whole bunch of things to think about and consider when it comes to how you know what the ideal length should be. And really, the bottom line is it boils down to this. It depends. And as Doug said earlier, shorter is better. Like as short. What did he say? I lost it. I should have pinned it. Basically, he was saying like as short as possible, as long as necessary. That's what he said, right? And that's actually a great way to look at it. And there's a lot of factors that come into that to help you determine that for sure. Hello, Harry. You're here as well. We got Jen. Jim is here still. And then let's see here. It's Kashini. Hello, it's Kashini. It's great to see you as well here. We've got Jack Tyler again. All right. So I'm grabbing some questions. A lot of questions coming in all of a sudden. So I'm going to pin these and I will make sure they're good questions as I go through them. So we're about to go into rapid fire. We're about to go into rapid fire Q&A. How does that sound to everybody? So literally, somebody made a comment. Oh, I love this. I have to show this though. Joanne is like dropping some great stuff today. Just as you are special, so is your audience. When the two are meshed, it will sort itself out and everyone is happy. That is beautiful. I love that. That is totally true. 100%. 100%. Okay. So I'm scrolling through. I'm going to grab the questions here, right? And I think I'm also going, even though I won't be able to hear it, I'm going to play a little background music because we can. Because we can. I'm going to turn it down. I'm going to turn it down to that. Hopefully that's a good light music as we go into our rapid fire Q&A. Okay. I'm just getting all the way caught up. I think I'm all the way caught up. Boom. I've got some questions. These are the questions. I see questions from Joanne Banco, Cazadores. I see Sula. I've got a question there. Andrea's got a question. Zombie JLT. I see a question there. It's Kashini. Arek. Anna's here. She's got a question. Vandalia, 1998. I see a question there. Jack Tyler, Blue Lounge. Those are the questions I have. Okay. So those are the questions. If I did not say your name and you posted a question about today's topic, then go ahead and repost it for me. Okay. About today's topic, go ahead and repost it for me. So today's topic is, we are talking about how long your live videos should be. So we're about to jump in. This is going to be good. So, okay. I see another one. So Hannah Day, I see your question there as well. Okay. So the music is super faint, but I believe it's there. Yeah. I don't want it to be too loud. I want it to be faint. It's really mostly there. Let me turn a little bit. It's mostly there because when this is one of the things that's great about background music. Literally, background music has its place. Okay. just because it's there for you doesn't mean you should just automatically start using background music. I like using background music when I'm doing any kind of tutorial or demo where there's a little bit of quiet space, meaning I'm quiet. Because what happens for me is I don't like quiet space. And so when I'm like looking for something, like looking through your comments, I feel like I need to talk or hum or sing, and I'm not very good at singing. And so when I need that quiet space to look for something or do something, having the background music keeps it interesting. Does that make sense? So yeah. Okay. I turned it up a little bit. So hopefully we are there. Put a Q in front of your questions. If you have a question, put a Q in front of it. If it's about today's topic, Kamal Tech Vlog, go watch the stream we did about music. For sure. Put a Q in front of your questions for me so I can find it. And again, it's all about today's topic. Don't ask me questions that are unrelated to today's topic, right? So we're going to stick with it. I can say that to you guys because I've been hosting this show forever. And I sort of feel like, remember how I said earlier, it's like we're in the bar hanging out and all of a sudden like somebody starts asking all these other questions. And it's like, well, no, now we're getting off topic. We're going to stay on topic today, right? So let's do that. Okay. Don't ask me questions about today's topic, which I just posted up. So we're talking about the ideal length of your live streams. Okay, here we go. Let me jump into our cute comments here. Okay. Joanne says, do people expect the live to be long or longer than posted videos that are recorded? She said, I think so. I do think that in general, I would say it the other way around. I think most people, well, it depends on the video. If I'm watching an interview that's pre-recorded, I'm possibly expecting a 45 to 60 minute video that I'm going to watch. But if I'm going to if I'm researching, how to use your lightning to digital AV adapter so you can plug your phone into your Blackmagic A10 Mini, that's probably a 6-minute video. I mean, it's literally take it out of the box, plug it in, do this, you're done, right? If it were a live video about using this, then I might be showing why I'm using it. I might be showing examples. Yeah, in that case, probably I'm going to expect a longer video. I don't think I think overall, it depends on the content. It goes back to that same thing we've been saying is it depends on the content. Good. You guys can hear the music. There you go. Okay, cool. So, all right, let me see here. I probably have about 25 more minutes where I can be with you guys today. That's the other thing I will say is that there are times when you aren't going to be able to stay, right? I mean, if you literally aren't able to go long enough to get to all the questions, then what I would do, this is a great strategy, is it's a really good idea to say, I couldn't get to everybody's questions. If I didn't get to your question, do me a favor. When this is over, post your questions in the comments. I will come back later and answer your questions via text form. That's a great strategy if you aren't able to take care of everyone, right? So kind of one of those things. I'll try to get to all the questions I can, and we'll go through it. So rapid fire style, here we go. I would say I've got 16 questions in the queue. I haven't even I don't know if it's 100% the right, all of them are the correct questions, but we'll see what we can do here. So here we go. All right, back to the questions. So Joanne also said, I'm thinking of cutting out parts of longer live shows to upload as short tip videos. Sound like a plan? Yeah, in fact, I know Joanne had posted this well early into the stream, and we talked about that. I talked about that Pat McAfee Show example. So yes, I actually think that that's a great strategy. It does require, let me put it this way, it is going to require some time. The editing time, download the video, edit the video, processing, all those things. The other thing I'll say is that if you're planning to do that, if that is your strategy, as you, again, approach your live streams knowing what your overall strategy is, if you are going to be pulling clips out, then I would try really hard. You can do two things here. You can kind of say, I'm going to spend about 15 minutes for every segment, and you can watch the clock and make sure you do that. That will make your process easier as you go. Or what you can do also, which is kind of an interesting one, is you can look at the timestamp up in the upper left-hand corner of your StreamYard studio that tells you, like right now it says we're almost 59 minutes into this stream. I can have a thing ready for me, a piece of paper ready, and I can literally know, boom, I can write it down and then I can go into that way when you are going to find those clips and you had that agenda, that outline, it's going to be much faster for you to find those clips. That's going to speed up your time for that editing stuff. Okay, interesting question. So Cazadora says, live in the weekends versus weekdays, question mark. YouTube and TubeBuddy keep recommending weekdays. Should we go live in the days not recommended by YouTube? I feel the weekends are taking away time from family. Thanks. Here's the deal. I do think that weekday live streams tend to perform better, but I also know that not everybody can go live during the week. So, and I actually do think that Saturday streams can perform just fine if your audience is that kind of audience. And again, if that's your consistency. We have a show here on the StreamYard channel, live stream reviews. And then we also have, is it live stream reviews? Live stream, anyway, the one Christian does. Literally, Christian does the show every Saturday with Charles Matthews. They do the show every Saturday, 3 Saturdays a month, and it gets tons of engagement, tons of views, and it's like 3 hours long. I mean, I told Christian pretty early on, I was like, don't invite me to that show because I don't want to spend 3 hours live streaming on Saturday. I want to be golfing. I want to be boating. I want to be fishing. I want to be shopping. I want to be cleaning my house. I want to be doing home projects, hanging out with my kid. I don't want to stream on the weekends. That's me, right? St. Cazadora says it's taking time away from family. If that's you, then don't stream on the weekends. Again, I'm going back to what I said earlier. The suggestions, the data, the gurus, the analytics, the tools like TubeBuddy, those are giving you suggestions based on big data, right? But you may not be able to do exactly what those suggestions are. And that's okay. Because if you are telling me, well, it says I should go live on this day, but I can't go live on that day, so therefore I'm not going to go live. Well, that's worse, right? You do what you can do. Just take the stuff as suggested. They're suggestions. That's it, right? They're just suggestions. Exactly. Andrew says, keep in mind that the what TubeBuddy is showing you is YouTube's data. So that's when your audience is online the most. That doesn't mean you can't influence that schedule. Just remember to inform them. Exactly. So if you can't or want to go live, let's say, luckily for Cazadoras, it was agreeing with him. But if something's telling you to do something that you can't make work, then don't do it. Do what works for you. And as Andrew says, inform your audience. Make sure that your audience is there. I will answer this question because it's fun. It's totally off topic. Thank you for addressing that. But Yak Shore Outdoors, what kind of fishing do you like? Well, Smackdown Outdoors knows that I've never ice fished. And I can't say I have a lot of interest in it. I love to bass fish. I love to fish in my favorite fishing. I like to river fish, not fly fishing. And I like to fish small ponds, not big lakes because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Maybe I need to go out with a guide and have them teach me some techniques, but I like to be able to walk around a pond and fish. And I just got a kayak for Christmas. And so I'm excited to get in the river instead of walking the river. So bass fishing, smallmouth, largemouth bass, my absolute favorite for sure. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can pin a couple more questions that I see. And next up. Okay. Sula says, do you think the lives are good to showcase products? And do you say a week of different daily offers? Do I think lives are a great way to showcase products? Absolutely. And I think that we are starting to see a bigger trend in that. We're seeing live shopping all over the place. You can showcase products that you love. I love live videos for showcasing products. Let's think about this. Have you ever watched the Home Shopping Network or QVC or any of that stuff? I don't know. I don't watch it anymore, but I think they still do this. They will take calls from callers. Like somebody's presenting about a sweeper. I don't know. And they will take live calls, like phone calls from people watching. They either ask questions or they talk about how much they love the product. I just bought it. I can't wait to get it. Here's what I'm going to be using it for. Live videos it's the same thing. You're showcasing a product, but somebody's commented. They're not calling you and you're not using weird technology to get their voice. You're reading their comments, answering their questions, helping them make an informed decision. I think live videos is an amazing way to showcase products because you can talk about it with the audience in the moment. You can take their questions. Yes. I'm not sure what the second part of your question is though, to be honest with you. Andrea says, so it is then okay if I finish, even if people are coming in and I have already finished. Yes. So Andrea, if you hang on and you stay hanging on because somebody new is coming, we are now triple our original audience at this point. No, we're a little over triple our audience that we were at when I was at about 25 minutes into this stream. So and we were up even higher than that, and now we kind of came back down. Your audience is going to hover. Those numbers, those live viewers are going to hover. You can't always entertain. Well, somebody just joined, so I need to keep talking. What if you did if you're just now joining, if you do that every like 5 minutes, you're not delivering value, right? So there are going to be people that are going to be joining you as you're wrapping up. Here's the thing I want you to have a little bit of reassurance with. If it was a pre-scheduled stream, then they got that notification. They know that they came in late. They missed it. They can go back and watch a replay. The viewer's behavior is so different today than it was 4 or 5 years ago. People are more accustomed to live videos. People know, oh, I came in, she's been live for an hour and she's wrapping up. They're not gonna be like, well, what the heck? I just got here. If they are, then they need to take a chill pill. Most people are like, oh, I missed it. I'll catch the replay if it's something they care about. Or they'll just be like, oh, I missed it. Dang it. I'll try to catch it next time. It's okay. We move on, right? So when it's time to end the stream, it's time to go, even if people are just now showing up, for sure. This one's interesting. So Zombie JLT1, I tend to do 24-hour marathons to help raise money for Toys for Tots. Are long charity streams like this recommended? Okay, again, it all depends. I actually really, really like fundraising events that have they have a deadline, right? There's a deadline there. When you're doing a stream, it's like a telethon, right? Like one of those kind of telethons, right? These are totally fine, but you have to have a strategy. Don't go live and just say, we're going to try to go live for 24 hours and not have any plan. You probably want to line up some special guests, do some interviews, maybe have some breaks. So have some videos planned that you can actually upload into StreamYard and play so that you can take a break. Like, all right, watch this clip. You know, here's a really great success story from one of the benefactors from last year. We want you to watch this clip. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Play the clip. It's a nice little transition. It gives you a break from camera, maybe so you can scarf down some food, whatever. But if you're going to do a 24-hour stream, it needs to be more interesting than just somebody on camera for 24 hours, right? So again, also have a strategy knowing that people are going to be coming and going. So you might need to have a way to provide an update. All right, we're at this point now. It's the top of the hour. So we're going to give you an update on how much money we've raised. Like, if you're going to do it exactly like you see them do on TV. It's just you're doing a live stream. And I actually do like that strategy for charity events. They can be really, really great. They can be a great way to, again, get people to rally around the cause. I donated already. Well, they might still keep watching because they want to see all the great things that are happening, right? So I do love that idea for sure. Long live streams like that just require more of a plan. They just require more of a plan. They can work. They can be great. They just need a little bit more. There's a little bit more that goes into it. Great question. So it's Kashini. When editing a live stream into videos, so we're talking about pulling those clips out, does it save the original live stream replay? Yes, it will automatically save the replay. So keep in mind there's a difference here. When you're done going live, that live stream is going to be saved. The replay is there automatically on your social media channel. If you go to YouTube or Facebook and you want to trim that video, meaning edit that replay, you can trim out the beginning, trim out the end. That is now an edited version of a video. You will lose, in YouTube, you will lose the live comment feed. It will go away. It is an edited video, right? But it's the edited replay. The other scenario is you leave it up as is, or even edit it, whatever. You download it from your video library in StreamYard, or even download it from YouTube, and then you edit that video into maybe 3 different videos, and then you upload them as 3 different videos. Downloading the video, editing, and uploading again, your replay is not affected. Your replay is going to stay there unless you delete it, right? So it is automatically going to be there. I just wanted to clarify the difference between you can edit the replay on the social platform, or you can download it and edit it and upload, which then you now have 4 videos instead of 1. So hopefully that makes sense. That question's not related to today's topic. Okay, so Anna says, does a 30-minute interview seem short, like a short time? I'm just starting to invite guests once a week. Again, it depends. It depends on, the conversation. I mean, can you, get through. Again, don't leave your audience hanging. If you feel like 30 minutes is too short because you want to give your guests enough time to share their spiel, answer questions, maybe take live Q&A, if 30 minutes is tight for a guest, I will say that. Again, it depends on your audience. If you have a small audience, not a ton of questions, not a lot of engagement, then you can probably get through a lot of content in 30 minutes because you're not working with the audience. If you have a large audience, when we bring guests on the show, guests will say, oh, is this going to be 30 minutes? I'm like, no. In fact, whenever I talk with anyone, I literally tell them our shows are typically 60 to 90 minutes. That's what I tell them. But if we're on for 45 minutes and nobody's asking questions, then guess what? My guest gets to be done early, right? But I don't want a guest to show up and be like, because I know how that is. Our audience asks a lot of questions. So I tell my guests that. So again, it goes back to the format of your show, the topic, your audience. 30 minutes is a great place to start. I think you probably, depending on how many questions you want to ask, 30 to 45 minutes is probably a healthier, safer place to think about. But again, it goes back to your audience and how much content you want to share. Okay. Okay, this is kind of related because this will affect the length of your stream. Do you ever have trouble staying on topic? Because sometimes we stray off topic on my podcast a bit and have to return to the main topic at least once a stream. I will say this, staying on topic, it might be critical, but it might not be critical, right? So, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Some of my streams, they're not really topic centric. It's a conversation around a global topic, right? Marketing, social media, live streaming. I don't have to have a specific topic on those. Is it a good experience for my audience? Probably is. I think in my opinion, it is a better experience when you have a bit of a topic, right? So again, it depends on your stream. It depends on what you're saying you're going to be talking about. If you go into a podcast and a live video and you say, today we're going to talk about this really brand new, this awesome new feature of StreamYard where you can play background music. But then you start talking about slide sharing and you start talking about the video library and embedding videos, and you start going on, or you start talking about other things, you're not talking about that feature, right? So you have to be careful about it. And you want to talk about what you say you're going to talk about. Sometimes though, the off topic part is just part of the brand. It's part of your stuff. So if that's the case, then make sure you position the title, the description, all those things appropriately. That's all I would say. As far as having trouble, I find that I don't typically have a lot of trouble staying on topic. When the times that this is hard is when you have a guest. Your guest is either going to stay on topic or your guest is going to take you off topic. And when your guest starts going and they're going on a tangent, it's hard to sometimes bring it back. So sometimes if you are having guests, staying on topic can be challenging, and that can make your stream longer than maybe you wanted it to, because you're like, we still have to get to these other 3 bullet points that we have to get to, but you keep going on tangents. What I always say is this is part of that pre-interview that you do with your guest. Have some signals that you can give to them. Let them know, hey, if I do this, it probably means I need you to wrap up the answer so we can get to the next question. There's also prompts you can give them. My friend James Hicks, he always, and I use it too, but I want to be cognizant of your time. There's a prompt there. I want to be cognizant of your time and everybody else's time. That's kind of okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next thing, right? And so there are some prompts that you can work through to help, but that will affect the length of your stream. So if you're trying to keep it in a certain time, you need to have some tactics and some techniques to stay on topic for sure. Okay. Let me check. Oh gosh, I have so many new comments. Just make sure. Andrew, you know what? He says, how long should your community bass fishing trip live stream be? And why do I want that to happen? Here's what's really funny that I will tell you. I have caught a fish on live video before. So we were talking about Video for Bosses, her little blitz that she just did. I did a blitz March of 2019. Yeah. And I did that to kind of launch that. I had an agency before, and I was like, I'm going to create a personal brand, like at Melanie Diane. And I did 30 days of live video every day. It went great. I decided to do it again in the summer, and somebody said, this time you should try to catch a fish on live video. And so I did, and it was awesome. So I do actually love you mixing things up a little bit, doing fun streams to let your community into like your life, if that's appropriate. And that was definitely one of those cases. Okay. Good question. I'm just seeing a few more questions that I want to grab. I've got just enough time to try to get through these. Gosh, so many good questions. Again, okay, I already can see it that I won't be able to get to all the questions. So if you do have questions that I didn't get to about this topic, I'm going to tell you now. If I don't answer your question, I want you to put it in the comments. Okay, put it in the comments after we're done with our live video today for sure. So quick check-in on that. Make sure I don't have any new information that would allow me to go longer. Okay, so let's keep going. So, oh, I saw a weird. There was a duplicate. Okay, I might be able to get to more than I thought because I'm filtering. I got some that aren't related to today. Okay, Damn Short Film Festival. Our Q&As are an hour long. Being that it is good to reset the room and when would you do it? I will be the technical director and I'm setting up my scripts for each show next week. Okay, so what Damn Short Film Festival is referring to when they say reset the room? Resetting the room is like when I say, hey, if you're just now joining us, today, we are actually talking about the ideal length for your live videos. How long should your live videos be? That's what we're talking about today. So if you have a question, about this topic, put it in the comments. That was me resetting the room. How often should you do this? For an hour-long Q&A, honestly, I would say about every 15 minutes. Sometimes it also, it depends on the comments. Sometimes I'll be watching the comments, and if I start to see a lot of, hey, everybody, or hey, I'm late, or how's it going, everybody? Like, then I know these are new people coming in. And so I may, if I see a lot of that, all of a sudden I may go ahead and reset the room, even though it's not at my mark. I don't personally, I don't have scripts. I don't typically have super structured outlines. My live streams are a little bit more fluid. That is not the case for every live stream. Some live streams are not that way. If you have a Q&A, maybe it's every 3 questions. Maybe it's every 5 questions. Maybe that's how you decide. And the length of time doesn't necessarily matter, right? The other thing that will not make it as necessary to reset the room as often is to have a ticker going down at the bottom. So sometimes I will have that ticker going down at the bottom, like right here, right? Or this. There we go. Welcome to Ask StreamYard, talking about the ideal length of your live videos. Having that at the bottom makes it a little less necessary for you to reset the room so often, right? It's still good practice because you're engaging, you're letting people know what's going on, maybe letting them know what you talked about already and what you're going to be talking about moving forward. So there's different reset the room things. That's a great question though, that I actually would love to feature in a future Ask StreamYard. So Damn Short Film Festival. If you're part of our Facebook group, will you please post that in our Facebook group with the hashtag Ask StreamYard? Because that is a really good question and a really good topic. Resetting the room. How often? When do you do it? What's the technique for it? That is such a great Ask StreamYard topic that I would love to feature for sure. So if you don't mind, it would be great if you put that in our Facebook group. I think it would be a really fun one to do. All right, let me keep going. Let's see. I think I skipped ahead on that one. Okay, so not necessarily related, but it is what I'm doing. Are you using StreamYard's music or is this from Epidemic Sound? The stuff that you're hearing in the background right now is the background music natively in StreamYard. Everybody has it. This is the lo-fi. This is the lo-fi track. That's what you're hearing right now. J Vlog says, I would like to do a school virtual field trip. Should I break it up or an hour stream? Okay. If it's a field trip, I don't know that I'd want you to break it up into different streams. but if it depends on the age, I think, of your audience as well. Like, how long can you keep their attention, right? There's that. Also knowing that a physical field trip tends to be, people can tolerate a longer length of time, right? Versus a virtual field trip where we're just watching something. I think that doing a long stream is totally fine, but you might need to have some breaks in it. I don't love the idea of separate streams. I'm so sorry, I hit it again. I like the idea of one stream, but then breaking it up into segments. And then what I would do, JVlog, is afterwards, use chapter markers. Chapter markers is another thing. The longer live streams that you have, using chapter markers on YouTube is going to help your replay performance for sure. So definitely, that's what I would do. Jack Tyler says, do you think 8+ hour gaming challenge? Do you think 8+ hour gaming challenge streams are a good thing? Most people will not watch more than 2 hours, in my opinion. Here's these long streams. You need to know that most likely not a single audience member is going to watch the entire 8-hour stream from start to finish. Now, they might keep you on in the background as they go do other things and whatever. Maybe they do. It's background music to them. So that is possible. What you need to know, Jack Tyler, is that when somebody might watch 2 hours, great. Well, which 2 hours are they watching? Are they watching hour 1 and 2? Are they watching hour 2 and 3? Hour 5 and 6? Hours at the end, hour 7 and 8? You're going to likely have people tuning in live, and maybe they will hang out for 2 hours. All that resetting the room stuff we just talked about is critical and really important for you as you're doing that, for sure. But again, it just goes back to, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? There's a lot of popular long gaming streams out there, and it just depends. So, I mean, it's going to come down to how you're engaging, how you're fostering engagement, and all those tactics that we've been talking about for sure. I love your comments about staying on topic. Doug says, what is this staying on topic that he's speaking of? Never heard of that one. Yeah, it's funny. And Video for Bosses says, I stray off topic on my lives from time to time, but like a boomerang, we bring it back. Like a boomerang, we bring it back. I love that. That is awesome. Super fun. I love when you guys drop like quotable quotes. It's actually pretty fantastic. Okay, let's see. Okay, John Troncali says, did a live yesterday and my guest had to step away, not once, but twice during the show for almost 15 minutes. Wowzers. Would love to know how you would have handled that situation. Wow. I am not totally certain. I mean, it depends on the guest. If it was like an emergency, if it was something that is sort of fitting, like for example, if I'm interviewing somebody and they are working in like a manufacturing facility, and this is totally random, and they're making, they're there giving us a tour and doing stuff, and they're like, hey, I actually need to go quickly take care of this, or let me go get that. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll be back. That's totally different than, oh, I'm sorry, I have to take a phone call. I'll be right back. And they're gone for 15 minutes. And you're like, what the heck, right? I mean, it just depends on the situation. That sounds very awkward. And that sounds very challenging. I will say, as a person doing an interview, if your guest is doing that, that would be challenging. That would be difficult. There certainly are some things you can do. You're going to have to kill time. I will say this. That seems to me like a massive exception. I don't think that's normal, right? So your audience is probably going to be like, what's going on here? Don't look at it as necessarily as a reflection on you. That's what I would say too. It just depends on what it was. I would probably do some Q&A. I would say, let's get some questions ready. So go ahead and start posting those. I'll start grabbing those. And then if there's something else related that you can kind of like stall with, like, hey, he was talking about Canva. I was just using Canva yesterday. I'm going to pull it up. Let's talk about it. Let's check it out. I mean, if there's a way you can keep it going, great. Honestly, the last thing I would say is if they're like, I gotta go. I'll be back in 15 minutes. I'd be like, all right, we're done. Like, thanks for being here. Maybe you can jump in and share some comments later. Like, I mean, what the heck? You had a scheduled interview. You had a plan. I mean, emergencies happen for sure, but you also might even consider just going ahead and ending the stream and then just coming back for part 2, right? Like part 2, as we say. So I don't know. That's a tricky one. I mean, that is like literally, that is a pretty tricky one for sure. Okay. So Andrew says, lengthwise, but in scheduling, how often do you go live with a guest versus just going live solo? I'm working on balancing this now, and I'm curious to what StreamYard thinks. Okay, well, again, as I always say, it depends. I really think that having guests in your shows is a great way to break things up. I think it's a great way to expand your reach. It's one of the best ways that you can actually grow your audience pretty organically is by having guests on your shows, because your guests are going to probably share that they're on your show. It's going to bring new people in, but also you're bringing a lot of value. And you can bring somebody else in who's maybe a subject matter expert in something that you're not, then you're offering value to your audience that you weren't able to give yourself. There's that. The last thing I'll say is it's nice because it breaks things up. It can just break it up. People are like, we always see Mel all the time. And now, but it's nice when she has somebody else. It's a nice change of pace. It also takes a little bit of stress and pressure off of you as the host as well. So it is nice. Now, on the flip side, I do see some channels where it's almost all guests, right? It's almost always guests all the time. And then they never go live themselves, or every once in a while they'll go live by themselves. I think that when it's always guests, it's great. But as a viewer, as an audience member, I look at the show that way. I look at the show as it's just an interview show. And so then when you show up solo, it's an opportunity for you to let your audience get to know you. But again, I would go back and say, why are we doing that? Right? So I would go back and say, do you want your audience to get to know you and have them follow you? You just are a person bringing guests on. It just, again, it goes back to what is your channel about? That's really the big thing here. And if it's about conversations and it's about interviews and it's about this, well, then that's what your content needs to be. Then you're going to have less solo shows. But I do think the solo shows are a great way for you to reset your audience, but also just get to know them better, right? And without a guest and not without that distraction of the guest. Kind of a loaded question with a loaded answer, unfortunately. All right, John Troncali again. My show is about 30 minutes. Getting to know our guest type show. So with her stepping away for 15 minutes, made it hard to keep the show going. Oh, if it's only a 30-minute show and she literally stepped away for 15 minutes twice, that's a disservice to your audience. I probably would have ended the show. I probably would have said, was this on screen? Was she texting you? Was it in the private chat? Like, how did that go down, right? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. It really just kind of depends on the unique situation. Either way, it sounds totally crazy, right? Here's another question. Probably let me see. This is good feedback. And I was going to kind of say it comes back to maybe your process. We created a guest guideline. Amy Freeman says we created a guest guidelines document that we send out before they join. That might help deter that kind of behavior. That's pretty, again, I don't know the situation. I don't know what happened, but if you told me, hey, we have a 30-minute show, I'm going to have you on my show, and I literally stepped away and I was gone for 15 minutes twice, without knowing all the details, and if I'm just looking at the book cover, that's not a book I want to read. That's all I'm going to say. How about that? How about that for an analogy, right? All right, last question. Cazadora says, any issues with YouTube if I create a 3-hour video of previous hunting videos and do a live pre-recorded stream for subscriptions to just come in and out, just for new subscriptions to interact as they wish? So, as far as issues with YouTube, they do allow us there is a time and a place to stream videos that are not live. So as many of you know, with StreamYard, you can stream a pre-recorded video, meaning you can upload a video and stream it out. Or you can go to one of your old live videos in your video library and you can stream it out again. You can stream the replay, if you will. And so it's a live video that is not broadcasting live content. It is actually pre-recorded content, but it is live streaming it, live broadcasting it. Does that make sense? As far as issues with YouTube, I don't know that that YouTube is really going to care as much. I'm sure there's somebody in here that's going to tell me that all the big data gives a suggestion here. But I think the biggest thing is that you need to make sure they know it's not live. And so either put a watermark over it, make sure the title says it's not live, and then also try to be in the comments. Try to be interacting in the comments at least so that you can be talking with people. So, but as far as length and anything like that, I don't know that that really matters when it comes to that, all that stuff, right? So, okay, so cool. This is the last question because this is totally on topic with today, 100% to it. Kevin's Canines and Aquatics. It seems hard sometimes to do live streams by yourself when you don't have that many people in the chat. If people don't have any questions, it makes it difficult to continue the stream. Suggestions. This is all about knowing where you are as a live streamer. So, Kevin, as you are growing your channel, growing your audience, if you don't have a lot of people there asking questions, then you need to go into your live streams knowing, hey, I need to have a plan for my content, because for me, for a lot of the plan for my content is taking questions and answering them. That's my content strategy. That's my content outline. But before I got to that point, you should always have a plan. Have a plan. What is this live stream going to be about? And then, Kevin, you know where you are. So no, I'm not going to have a lot of live questions. So I need to make sure I have a good content plan, a good outline, and I'm going to come and deliver value. And it might be 15 minutes, right? That's fine. As your audience grows and as you get more live people showing up and asking questions, you'll be able to count on and rely on those questions. And you then will know, all right, I need to reserve more time. It's all about knowing where you are, right? It's all about knowing where you are as a live streamer, knowing what your audience's behaviors are. And again, as a new streamer, as a smaller audience, you might need to get really consistent. Make sure you do some marketing to your broadcast meeting. Go over on Instagram, talk about how you're about to go live on YouTube, schedule it in advance, build some momentum, get people, drive traffic to your live streams. But also back to what we talked about earlier in the stream today is that technique, having a technique to get them to engage with you, get them to ask questions. How do they know that they can ask questions, right? So it's really important that you use some of those techniques to foster that engagement, to foster those questions. But before you get to that point, you got to know where you are and accept it and have a different plan for your streams. So this is back to, a lot of people will say, oh, I should do a weekly live Q&A because that's what I see a lot of really popular streamers do. Well, you may not be ready for a weekly live Q&A, right? Maybe you need to go live for 3 to 4 months consistently first, take questions, and then when you're getting there, maybe start with a monthly live Q&A. And then maybe you will get to a point where you can just do a weekly live Q&A. But that kind of content is working for somebody else, probably because they've been doing this for a while. They've built that audience. Their audience is now accustomed to knowing they can ask a question. Just like many of you already know, put a Q in front of your question so that Mel sees it, right? Now I put it in the stuff, but it's kind of one of those things, right? Okay, so that is what we wanted to talk about today. Super, you guys were awesome today. You guys asked really good questions today. And as I said earlier, if I did not answer your question, and it is about today's topic, which is, of course, we're answering Tracy Wilson's question, how long should your live video be, right? That was today's topic. So if you have questions about that, then what I want you to do is I want you to, after we're done, I want you to post your question in the comments. I will make sure I come back to these. I'm sure Christian will be in there as well. We will answer your questions. So if you have a question about how long your live stream should be and you need help with this topic still, post it in the comments and we'll hang out with you in the comments and answer those questions. Today, next week, doesn't matter. If you're catching the replay and you weren't here live, you can also post your questions in the comments as well. And if you did watch the replay and you got this far, Tiffany Lee Bymaster said this last week. I was like, that is such a great point. We're an hour and a half into this stream, and if you're watching the replay and you're still here, you are a rock star, right? Because you watched the whole show. So if you still have questions, post those in the comments for sure. So, all right, everybody, I am going to go ahead and say peace out, goodbye. We're done. I really appreciate everybody being here again. You guys asked amazing questions, And until next week, we'll be back again next week. So tune in next week, 11 a.m. Eastern time. I will be back again with another episode of Ask StreamYard, where we'll be diving into another topic, another question. And where we get these questions is if you use that hashtag Ask StreamYard, it tells us that you've seen the show, you want us to feature you. If we pick your question, we're gonna send you a t-shirt and we'll answer your question, and we'll go all in on you and what it is that you need help with. And the best place to get those questions seen and submitted is over in our Facebook community. Christian and I are always looking for great questions to get asked over there. So simply just search StreamYard community in Facebook. You'll find it. It's free to join. Just answer the questions and they will let you in. Right? So that's what we got going on. That's what we had for today. I will see you guys next time on the show. Until then, be safe out there. We got snow coming in here in Indiana. We got all kinds of crazy weather. So again, be safe, have fun, and I will be seeing you guys later.